big dub. Another dub. You know what comes next? Bow, bow, bow!
Ah, man, that was exciting, right, Seven?
Oh, yeah.
We always seem to make it interesting.
It's all right, though. That's for the crowd.
Thanks for being here.
Ah man, I think it's the next step up mentality as far as players. Our shifts keep changing. Everybody doing a different role, and so I think we all got the mentality where you give and you sacrifice, and I think that's what y'all see.
Yeah, great job. Okay, great job. We weathered a storm. We found some toughness in the fourth quarter to be able to get stops and to execute. Right, we grew tonight. I mean, it really, everybody just good stuff. Okay, good stuff all around. It's a big time win for us on a back-to-back at the end of a tough road trip. So, good stuff. Hey, one more. Coach's 100th.
Imagine your star player is out, you're down 23 points, and you're up against one of the best rookies in the league. What happens next? For the Indiana Fever, it was the ultimate test of resilience, teamwork, and leadership. Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell took center stage. But what really powered their comeback? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
Yeah, I think for us, it's about knowing that basketball is a game of runs. And they made their run that third quarter. And honestly, just continue to stay composed and take it each possession at a time is something that we've been working on. And so for us, that was our focus, is get a stop, go down and score, get another stop, and we try to get a kill.
Our attention to detail in our screening, we've got to be great screeners. We got to make sure we slow down and use our screen and our spacing. We've had some games where our spacing has been poor, and that has not allowed Kelsey to get downhill, and it hasn't allowed space for Aaliyah to get going either. So I think that the two most important things for us right now offensively is attention to detail and screening and spacing. Finding out this morning that we probably need to hold out again today. It really is a day-to-day thing, and I think for us, making sure that we're prioritizing her long-term health and wellness. It's anybody who's had some of these types of injuries understand that sometimes it's a process. She's a quick healer, and she's been doing everything that she can to get back on the floor. So, we just want to make sure that we're hypersensitive to the big picture.
Caitlin Clark versus Paige Buchers. That was the matchup everybody circled on the calendar. The hype around this game was massive, social media was buzzing, tickets were flying, and every analyst had something to say about two of basketball's brightest young stars going head-to-head. The Fever knew this wasn't just another game, it was a showcase, an opportunity. Everything during prep revolved around Clark's impact. How would they defend her deep threes? Could they deny her passing lanes? It was all about limiting her. Even Aaliyah Boston said, "You don't stop Caitlin Clark, you just slow her down." But then just before the game, everything changed. When word spread that Clark was ruled out with a groin injury, you could feel the air get sucked out of the room. It wasn't just disappointing, it rewrote the script. Suddenly, the game wasn't about Clark at all. For Indiana, this wasn't a chance to test themselves against a generational player. It was a challenge of a different kind. Without Clark's gravity dominating the narrative, the spotlight hit players like Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell. And in an instant, the pressure multiplied. "With her out," said Boston, "we had to remind ourselves why we're here. Play for each other, sacrifice for each other. That's how we approached it." Still, the magnitude of the event didn't change. Over 20,000 fans packed into the American Airlines Center despite the news. They weren't just there for Caitlin Clark, they were there for big moments. Top-tier basketball. Players could feel the energy while warming up, even with the last-minute shift in expectations. For the Fever, Ari McDonald set the tone early, zipping through defenders with energy that rattled the wings. Her shots fell like clockwork, perfect early execution. The Fever started strong, firing on all cylinders. But the game didn't stay easy. Without Clark running the show, Paige Buchers thrived. It wasn't just a showcase, it was a battle. And the Fever's depth, that was about to be tested in ways they hadn't prepared for. Down 23 points. That's where the Fever found themselves midway through the third quarter. It wasn't that they were playing terrible basketball, but Paige Buchers was putting on a clinic. Every time the Fever tried to slow her down, she found another way to score, dropping mid-range jumpers, threading passes that sliced through the defense, and even knocking down deep shots that had the crowd going wild. On the other side, the Wings pounded the paint and dominated the glass, racking up second chance points that made the lead balloon. By the time the buzzer sounded to end the quarter, it felt like the Fever were inches from falling apart. But this team, they weren't folding, and it started with Aaliyah Boston. The urgency she brought wasn't loud or flashy. It was steady, calming, and unshakable. You could see her pointing out plays on defense, keeping her teammates engaged. Then there was Kelsey Mitchell, who didn't just light a spark. She practically brought a blowtorch to the fourth quarter. Mitchell's energy was unstoppable, and her scoring burst gave the Fever life just when the game felt out of reach. Look, the Fever didn't just chip away at the deficit. They smashed their way back piece by piece. Mitchell knocked down 2 clutch threes in a row, draining them from deep before Dallas could even react. The next trip down the court, Boston sealed off defenders in the post, spun to her left, and banked one in like it was warm-ups. And that efficiency, she dropped 21 points on just 14 shots. That's next-level control under pressure. Meanwhile, Mitchell ended with an incredible 32 points. And let's not forget her defensive effort. Late in the game, she forced a turnover on Buchers that flipped momentum on its head. The Wings coach summed it up after the game, admitting, "We couldn't handle their physicality." By the fourth quarter, the energy in the arena shifted completely. The Fever outscored the Wings, sealed the win, and made one thing crystal clear. They aren't just here to compete, they're here to make a statement.
Big dub. Big dub. Another dub. You know what comes next? Bow, bow, bow!
Man, that was exciting, right, Seven?
Yeah.
We always tend to make it interesting.
It's alright though. That's for the crowd.
Nice one, baby.
Hey, by the way, baby. Fever down! Bow, bow, bow!
Man, I think it's the next step up mentality as far as players. Our shifts keep changing. Everybody doing a different role, and so I think we all got the mentality where you give and you sacrifice, and I think that's what y'all see.
Yeah, I think for us, it's about knowing that basketball is a game of runs, and they made their run that third quarter, and honestly, just continue to stay composed and take it each possession at a time is something that we've been working on, and so for us, that was our focus: is get a stop, go down and score, get another stop, and we try to get a kill.
The Fever's win over the Wings showed they're more than just a team relying on one star. Without Caitlin Clark, they redefined who they are, a group that thrives on pressure and steps up when it matters. Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell proved their depth, but the entire roster contributed. Now sitting at 8th place, just behind Atlanta and New York in the Eastern Conference, this team is far from finished. The question is, can they take this spark and turn it into a real title push? One thing's clear, after a win like this, the league has no choice but to pay attention.